Hitler massacred 3 million Jews. Now, there's a 3 million drug addicts. There are. I'd be happy to slaughter them. At least, if Germany had Hitler, the Philippines would have, but yeah.
During a 2016 press conference, Duterte claimed that 3 million drug addicts were residing in the Philippines and likened himself to Hitler, causing a social media frenzy. The video news was reported by Aaron Lozada from ABS-CBN, along with other mainstream sites including Sunstar, Daily Inquirer, and The Guardian. Later, the president claimed the number to be over 4 million. In contrast to that, the head of the government agency, Dangerous Drug Board, Benjamin Reyes, stated that the country only had 1.8 million of drug users, and a third of whom were taking illegal narcotics within a year. This figure was supported by United Nations Office on Drug and Crimes, equating to 2.3% of the Filipino, and thus lower than the 5.2% of the global average. Yet, Duterte reacted by firing Reyes for contradicting the government with his persistence on the official number. Overall, the number claimed by Duterte in this video, which remains a confusion, has created a national panic state while struggling to justify the alleged murders of thousands of the so-called drug users. According to Coronel, Duterte is using a 21st century playbook for media control. However, it is not restricting information flows, but the opposite, flooding the information space with disinformation while also censoring legitimate news purveyors.
When considering Duterte's spreading of drug crime inaccuracy, the story can be categorized as fake news since it meets all conditions determining disinformation listed by Fallis, including information, misleading, and intention. Firstly, information, which Fallis takes as true or untrue representational content. Here, the source shows that the Philippines president made a speech highlighting the shocking number of 3 million drug addicts that he's pleased to slaughter. Secondly, misleading, the likeliness to create false belief or put people at risk of harms. The delivered information drove the audience to a belief in the wrong significant figures of drug dealers and a wrong depiction of the country as a narco state. Thirdly, the rooted intention behind this source is Duterte's intention to build a milestone for his authoritarian regime through manipulating the media. In other words, this disinformation source aims at a political gain. To better conceptually validate our consideration about Duterte's case, it's worth distinguishing disinformation from misinformation. The key difference is the sender's intention. While misinformation is false information sent out without the intention to mislead audience, disinformation aims to misguide them for pre-planned beneficial purposes. Hence, in this case, it is not misinformation but rather disinformation due to the intention to mislead audience. Regarding disinformation, there are different forms including malicious lies, visual disinformation, and true disinformation. Duterte's new item clearly falls into the categories of malicious lies, which is defined as false information done with intentional harm for political gains. Particularly, the news article tended to harm national image and citizen safety for such political gains. Furthermore, Duterte's spreading of falsified number has resulted in mass genocide that wipes out 20,000 lives until February 2018. All while cements the president's status to push forward his authoritarian agenda over the media and bring the violent strongman rule to the Philippines political order.
The guesstimate of 3 to 4 million Filipino drug users has been a pillar of Duterte's argument. From the research, this news piece made 3 impacts on the national scale. First, according to Thompson, Duterte mobilized a mass constituency through the media by portraying a corrupt elite that coddles drug dealers. With the claims figure, he overemphasized the importance of drug dealing, stating the current government had become systematically distinctive to earn himself support during the presidential election and later to introduce a violent political order. Second, the exaggerated number was the anchor for Duterte to change the Filipinos' mindset about the humiliation and value of drug criminals. In the news, he declared to slaughter 3 million drug users to protect the country from perdition. By doing so, Duterte denies their state protection and holds the right to define and kill what he calls lives unworthy of being lived, leading to accumulating deaths. Third, being one of the most notorious fake claims of Duterte, this news urged the resisting Filipino after 1 year living in fear from the administration. Also, senior Grace Post looked into fake news and proposed a law to penalize governmental employees spreading disinformation. On the regional level, the mentioning of Hitler and the Holocaust raised conflicts between the Philippines and international organizations, including the United Nations and Jewish groups in Asia. The Asian Director of Human Rights Watch further requested the United States and European Union to warn against Duterte.
Anonymity, fact-checking, and media literacy are three common solutions. Each solution has pros and cons, which are presented in this table. Apply fact-checking into the Philippines and Asia. Despite its signature roles in political information check, the tool hardly works. This is because weak Asian institutional capacity and strong state interest makes independent organizations' role as verification intermediary less powerful. Also, technical solutions depend on the netizens' ethos of responsibility and healthy skepticism toward information. Therefore, the awareness of misinformation and digital literacy need to be prioritized first before fact-checking can be applied. Therefore, we suggest short-term and long-term fake news assessment strategy, as media literacy needs time to build a strong democratic society where netizens are skilled enough to evaluate biases of the source. Short-term anonymous community will take action on social media to share true information and recruit more activists. Simultaneously, media literacy education is fostered. In the long run, when netizens are mature enough to identify fake news, reliable foreign news outlets will penetrate to depower Duterte's national media control and overwhelm disinformation source. Why it works? According to Freedom on the Net 2016 Philippines report, no restrictions on anonymous communication in the Philippines was found. It is less possible to investigate those online hidden identities as the government did not require internet and mobile user registration. A successful anonymity case is the anonymous hacker groups declared on cyber war on Hong Kong government during the Hong Kong umbrella protest.
Greetings world. We are anonymous.
A war declaration video was followed by a strong wave of sharing on Twitter. The campaign received significant follows and supports from Hong Kong activists, which empowered young activists throughout the country. To underpin the feasibility of the long-term solution, a highlight example of media literacy is researched. French Centre for Media and Information Education promotes the use and awareness of media in the education system. This is ranked as a sustainable tool to promote media literacy among young people through trainings and annual publications with nationwide interest and supports. Regarding the increasing foreign news penetration, because the Duterte's media control strategies is to flood information space with disinformation, the power of foreign news should be highlighted. Moreover, it is reported that no systematic government censorship of online content has been noted in the Philippines. Also, internet users can access to both domestic and international sources. By saying so, we strongly believe that our strategies to combat this fake news case is plausible.